All right, guys, let's talk more about how to find our least common multiples to help us compare fractions. This first example, we are going to be comparing 1/2 to 6/8. As you can see, we're talking about halves and eighths. Let's see how we can make those into common denominators. So let's talk about multiples of 2. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. How about multiples of 8? 1 times 8 is 8. 2 times 8 is 16. 3 times 8 is 24. 4 times 8 is 32. If we're finding the least common multiple, we're finding the common multiple they have, but the very least one. So as you can see, they both have an 8 in common. That's a common multiple. So let's turn these into 8s. Our least common multiple is 8. And if our least common multiple is 8, our least common denominator is also going to be 8. So let's turn 1/2 into 8s. Well, 2 times what equals 8? 2 times 4 is 8. So if I multiply the denominator by 4, I'm going to multiply my numerator also by 4. 1 times 4 is 4. And 6/8, well, guess what? That's already 8. So 6/8 is 6/8. So we have 1/2 is the same thing as 4/8, and 6/8 is the same thing as 6/8. Which is bigger? 6/8. So we can say that 4/8 is less than 6/8. Therefore, 1/2 is less than 6/8. All right, let's take a look at the next example. We have 5/6 and 2/3. So we have 6 and we have thirds. Let's talk about multiples of 6. So 1 times 6 is 6, 12, 18. 4 times 6 is 24. Multiples of 3, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. The least common multiple that they have in common is the 6. Okay, so our least common multiple is 6, which means our least common denominator is also going to be 6. So here we have 5/6, and we're turning into 6. Guess what? It already is 6. But now let's turn 2/3 into 6. So 3 times what is 6? Well, 3 times 2 is 6. Multiply the denominator by 2. You also have to multiply the numerator by 2. So if I have 5/6, comparing it to 4/6, well, 5 out of 6 is greater than. Therefore, 5/6 is greater than 2/3. Another example. We have 2/3 and 1/2. So we have thirds and halves. Multiples of 3. 3, 6, 9, 12. Multiple of 2. 2, 4, 6, 8. The least common multiple they have is a 6. So our least common multiple is 6. Our least common denominator is 6. Well, let's turn 2/3 into 6. 3 times 2 is 6. I'm going to multiply the numerator by the same thing. 2 times 2 is 4. We're going to turn these into 6. 2 times 3 is 6. So 1 times 3 is 3. So now we can compare 4/6 to 3/6. Super easy now that we have a common denominator. 4/6 is greater than 3/6. Therefore, 2/3 is greater than 1/2. One less example for you guys. We're going to compare 1/4 to 1/3. So we have 4, 8, 12, 16. Multiples of 3. 3, 6, 9, 12. The least common multiple is a 12. Therefore, our least common denominator is also 12. So let's turn 4 into 12ths. 4 times 3 is 12. Therefore, 1 times 3 is 3. All right, let's turn 1/3 into 12ths. 3 times 4 is 12. Therefore, 1 times 4 is 4. So we're going to compare 3/12 with 4/12. Common denominator makes it super easy. 3/12 is less than 4/12. Therefore, 1/4 is less than 1/3. Well, there you have it, guys.